Hello everyone, Christopher Maynard here, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate how to create a domain by installing Active Directory domain services onto my 2008 server machine. Also, I will promote that server machine to a domain controller. So let's start. I will go to my server machine, let's insert Ctrl+Alt+Delete, and we will log in to this machine. Now just take note of the login screen here. When we create a domain, it will be a little different, so just take note of that. Just enter the password. Now in an earlier video I showed you how I connected all the machines in the network. So let's just go to network here. We'll turn on network sharing, network discovery, sorry, and we can see that all the machines in the network are in the work group, right? So what we'll do is we will create the domain, and then I will join these machines to the very set domain. Okay, so we can close this off. To start, we'll go to Server Manager, and in Server Manager we'll go to Roles. Sorry, we'll go to Roles here, and we will add a role. Right, in this screen here it gives you a little information, tells you that your administrator account must be strong. Your network settings such as IP, static address are configured, and the latest security updates, Windows updates are installed. Right, so we can hit next, and this roles that we're gonna install here is the domain Active Directory domain service. Now, Active Directory is actually a database that stores information on the objects on the network, such as the computers, the users, and it makes that information available to the users and the network administrator. Alright. Now, another thing that we'll need to install is a domain server, but we won't be able to do it from this in here, because it says this wizard cannot install Active Directory and the domain servers together. So we'll install that a little later on. So here we go, we click next. Alright, just gives you some helpful hints on this page, and click next. Alright, and it tells you that the server might need to be restarted after the installation is completed. Alright, we're installing Active Directory domain services, and Active Directory domain service installation wizard needs a DC promo executable to make the server a fully functional domain controller. So remember, I told you that I need to promote it to be a domain controller, so we will do that also. We click install here. So it's finished, and with this link here we can launch a wizard to install the DC promo, or to promote the machine to domain controller. Now there are two ways we can do it. We can click the link and you'll see the wizard comes up. If I cancel this off here, we can also use the command prompt, the DC promo. So we just type DC PROMO and we hit enter. Now domain controller is the machine that verifies authentication or handles authentication onto the domain. Right, so we hit enter on this and we click next. We click next here. Now what it's asking is if we are going to install in a existing forest, or if we're going to create a new domain in a new forest. Now in this networks we have no other forest, so we'll create a new domain on a new forest. Right, and here is where we would type in our domain name, or the FQDN, which is the fully qualified domain name, right, which would end in a dot something, .net.com. So this one we will call it KRYSChris.com. So it's searching now to see if the name exists. Okay, on this here is to set the forest functional level. Now what happens is we are running right now on this machine Server 2008, but if we set it at Windows Server 2008, it says you'll not be able to add, or you will only be able to add domain controllers that are running 2008, which means if on the network we have any other domain, or in the forest, sorry, we have any other domain controllers that are below 2008, it will not be able to be installed, or it will not be able to handle any functions. So if you don't know your network, it's safe to start off with the lowest level, which is Windows 2000. But as I said, we don't have any other thing on this network or this, so we will use the Windows 2008 server. Alright, remember I told you about DNS. Now it's asking you to select the DNS server, or select an additional option for the domain controller. So DNS server. We don't have any other DNS servers, so we will just click for it to install here. We click yes. On this window, it's asking us where to store the database, the log files, and the sysvol. Now, best practice would be to store that on a separate volume, on a different volume, rather than the C. But for the sake of this demonstration, we will leave it as is. Now we ought to install a password. Right? For the sake of this demonstration, I'm using the same password. Okay, on this window, it's asking us to export our settings. So we can export this to text file for recovery or so. However, we're not going to export it. We're just going to hit next. Now, when this is done, it will ask you to reboot the machine, or restart the machine, which is important. You must restart your machine. I can check here to reboot upon completion, so it will reboot automatically. So my machine has restarted, and I will insert Ctrl-Alt-Delete here, and immediately you can see the change that I was telling you about. Before it was just administrator, but now it has the domain name /administrator. Alright, so we type in the password. Okay, so if I go to network, and I turn on network discovery, you'll now see that the machines are still in the other machines are in the work group. However, the server is in the Chris domain, right? And on this initial configuration screen, you will see chris.com as the domain, server 2008.chris.com is the full computer name. And even if I go to computer properties, again you'll see the domain as chris.com. So in my next video I will demonstrate how to join the machines to the domain. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon.